YouTube, guys.
YouTube.
We're running behind today, mostly because everybody needed to make cocktails. And I actually want to shout out my buddy, the plant techie. He sent me these. They're custom guitar picks.
Dude, I saw that. That's cool.
Because I'm always looking for my guitar picks and I can never find them. And so they literally say the garden party on them.
That's
so
super cool.
The plant techie, awesome. Thank you so much, dude. So we'll do the intro real quick. Hello, everybody. This is the garden party. This is the garden party, and we want a garden party with you. We talk about the plants you grow and some things you might not know. The garden party. All right, Vikram, introduce yourself, dude.
What's up? I am the plant prof. I'm Vikram. But this is apparently a niche joke, but I have a dirt man hat, and I'm very happy about it. Yeah, horticulture professor, surviving the summer barely, and that's all. I don't know. Am I supposed to say more?
Oh,
so creepy.
Wait a minute.
Dude, it is so much creepier than the one you got.
Am I being punked right now?
No. We wanted to make you feel more at home, Des.
Okay. I see what's going on here.
And I wanted to make sure I had a mask that I could still have a sip of my drink.
But why do I feel like I want to cry right now?
Because it's horrifying.
I will post it.
Squirrels are horrifying in the garden.
They are.
What? My squirrels are angels. All of them.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm really actually serious. They're very good. They don't mess with my stuff at all. None of them.
Okay. Mine eat tomatoes and they dig up stuff and they plant pecan seedlings and everything.
You know what?
It makes it worse.
They are amazing foresters. That's the thing about squirrels, you know? They have a bad rap. True.
They are bad rats. You're right. Absolutely.
No, listen, I said they have a bad rap.
Not everyone is a Disney princess, Des. It's not.
This is true. You are Snow White in real life. You're the real life Snow White. 100%.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I think so.
I don't know about it. Thank you.
Well, speaking of squirrels and woodland creatures, Des, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Des. I am a Central Texas gardener. I'm in Austin, Texas. I'm a master gardener with Texas. Anyway, and I have a squirrel that follows me absolutely everywhere. And I just posted a ridiculous video of myself on TikTok saying hello bee to all the pollinators in my yard if you care about that kind of thing.
That's awesome.
I do, Des. I do care.
I love that.
So where are you from originally?
Oh, I am originally from Wichita Falls, Texas, which is where
it's Oklahoma, right? That's basically Oklahoma.
No, it's
We're the
not.
first line of defense against Oklahoma.
Oh my God.
It's 22 minutes from the border.
On the welcome to Wichita Falls sign, it says Wichita Falls, where everybody from Oklahoma gets their beer.
That is true, though, because of the alcohol content. The laws in Oklahoma are. If you're on Lake Texoma, which is in Oklahoma and in Texas, like people will just tootle their boat on over to the Texas side to buy some beer real quick.
Yep.
Yeah, because Oklahoma beer is 3.2% and Texas beer is 4%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Texas beer is
not much.
Whatever.
I have a cool
There's no laws.
story.
There's no rules here.
I have a cool story I want to tell when our next
hold on.
When our next guest introduces himself.
Okay.
All right.
So a returning guest, someone who says I don't get him on enough, which I will fix that, is Michael Fiore with Smith's Garden Town. Welcome, dude.
I just thought because that I offend people sometimes. You're like, let's reduce the amount of Michael.
Have you seen me on this podcast? Like I've seen some terrible things. Not terrible things. It depends on how organic you are, I guess.
There've been a few weird ones. We've had some moments.
It usually
probably
comes
get weird tonight.
It usually comes toward the end of the episode for some reason. I can't imagine why. I can't imagine why that happened.
I'm Michael Fiore in Wichita Falls, Texas, and I am a new garden center owner.
I saw.
I'm so
That's
proud.
cool.
Okay.
It's not a new
So-
garden center though.
No.
It's actually an old one, 75 years old. And just today, I asked the previous owners what their return policy is because one of our AC units went out.
Oh
and
no.
It's going to be
You mean you asked your mom?
$13,000 to fix it. Yeah, my mom.
$13,000.
Yeah.
That's
So like
insane.
literally week one of owning the garden center, and I'm like, $13,000, and
Oh my gosh.
she just like laughed at me.
That's hilarious.
Like, oh yeah, okay. Well, it's your problem now. It's your baby now.
Yeah.
That is hilarious, man. No, I was wondering how that worked. Oh no, go ahead, Des. Tell your story.
Okay,
You
I
were-
do have a cool story that I don't know, Michael. I might have told you this when you gave me a super awesome, cool behind the scenes tour of your nursery, which I want to come and hang out in again. The next time I'm in town with time, I'm going to come over there. But so you know when Smith's was not where it is now, but it was in its original location, pre-tornado or whatever I think it was.
Yeah, it was on Kemp Street across from
Yeah,
the mall.
it was on Kemp in front of, if you're from Wichita Falls, in front of Best Buy, where Best Buy and everything is. It was like right there.
Mm-hmm.
My granddad used to take me to that nursery to buy ladybugs, which we don't do anymore. Okay. But to buy ladybugs to control aphids in his garden. And it was one of my gateways into gardening. Like I loved going to Smith's, and I still love going to that nursery when I go home.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing. And so I think it's so cool that you have just taken it over from your family, because way to keep a family tradition going. And you guys are so active in the community. It's awesome.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
thanks.
Congratulations.
So everybody that's a fan of Des, you can thank my family for her original.
All right.
exposure
I don't
to
like
gardening.
Michael anymore, to be honest. Like no, I'm just kidding.
she's a brainchild of y'all's brainchild. You know, she's like a brain grandchild.
I was raised in Smith's.
That's awesome.
Amen.
No, I love hearing those stories, and I'm seeing it, you know, with people my age. And I mean, how old are you, Michael?
35.
Yeah, so we're the
Younger
same
than
age.
me.
Yeah, and so I love seeing people like
I don't
my
look younger than
age,
you.
like my generation, taking over like the family nurseries and stuff. You know, like Claire over at Jimbo, she's taking over the nursery. So it's kind of cool seeing a lot of these people my age coming back and wanting to try to get back into the family business. And I mean, did you always know you wanted to run the nursery? Is that what you always wanted to do?
No, I ran far away for 10 years.
Yeah.
I did not think I was going to go into the nursery business, and then it lured me back in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's because you have your degree in is it biology, right? It's some kind of biology.
Yeah, wildlife biology specifically.
So cool.
Gotcha.
So
Did you want to be a game warden?
Animal guy before I was a plant guy.
Did you want to be a game warden?
Yeah, that was one of the ideas I had, was to be a game warden.
Yeah,
I'm a game warden's worst nightmare.
because she's a poacher. Everybody.
I won't.
No, but I should not make such deep friendships with squirrels. Nobody should do that. Don't be like me.
Have
Well,
you
I'm
seen
glad
the-
you're here hanging out with your human friends.
Yes. It's
Have you
important.
seen
Life is about balance.
It's important that you communicate with people who can actually talk back to you and tell you how crazy you are sometimes.
See, I'm afraid that the squirrels are talking to Des.
People are very complicated, guys. Sometimes you need to talk to the critters.
It's true.
They understand you at a base level.
Two important squirrel things. One,
Mhm.
Emperor's New Groove. Have you seen that?
I love
Cartoon?
Emperor's New Groove. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, he talks to the squirrel. He speaks squirrel.
he does.
Kronk does.
Yeah.
And then two, have you seen the Mark Rober videos about the squirrel?
Yeah,
Love
I
'em.
love them. They're
Those
so
are
Yes.
fantastic.
good.
So good.
Dude, I just got on the Mark Rober kick, and I've been watching all of his videos. I saw the egg drop. He dropped an egg from space.
Mhm.
That was really cool. And he does lava versus lasers, and I love his little thing. He's got that monthly subscription pack for kids and stuff, where it's STEM stuff.
So cool.
It's really
Yeah.
cool. And
My
he's
kids
making a
want
ton
And
of
for
money
adults
off that.
now.
For sure.
Yeah.
He has them for adults now too.
Oh, really? That's
If anybody
Yes.
wants to sponsor those kits for my children, I'm open
Yes.
for that.
And
'Cause
for
my
yourself
kids-
as well, right?
Well,
my
maybe
kids-
if you
yeah, myself too, but my kids
maybe
really
you
are like begging me
stop buying expensive cameras, man. Come on.
Or glow in the dark
Had I
plants.
known the air conditioner was about to go out, I probably wouldn't have bought my expensive camera.
Yeah,
Oh my
Mark
goodness.
Rober's doing it right. I just like watch videos of people like squishing bananas through fish nets and like yell about them on the internet. That's my job. Like I don't
What
know.
was the one that they put the rose stem in the beet the
In a
other
beet,
day?
and they turned
In a
it from a
beet.
white rose to a red rose, and I was just like,
Oh,
I
give
can't,
me a
I
break.
can't.
Dude, it's getting so bad. It's just getting worse. It's
I'm getting too
100%.
old for this, y'all.
It
Like,
makes me want to cry, to be honest. I find
God.
much joy in your posts about this.
Well,
in my suffering, my pain and
Yeah.
suffering.
Yeah.
when
We're
we
suffering
were
together.
we were talking about Michael's milestone of getting the nursery land handed over him last week. You had a milestone, right, Vikram? The 1-year anniversary of your book coming out.
Yeah, that was on the 11th, and it's kind of bonkers that it's been a year because I was thinking about that, and I was seeing like in my Facebook memories and stuff. We did I hadn't forgotten, but I hadn't thought about it a lot. We did a book signing like on the release day at a local bookstore, and yeah, it's been a year. It's super crazy.
Y'all don't
Is
look at me right now.
I know I know it's got to feel weird being like an author. Are you still pitching, trying to get like your next one? Because I'm sure like with authors, it's you put the book out and then it's on to the next one. Like it's got to be like on to the next one,
Such a
right?
good book.
Yeah, it's one of those things like yeah, there's a couple more, and I've got a couple of pitches that I'm trying to get out, and the summer's been busier than everything's busy all the time, right? Like it's not. But I was like, because I'm dumb, I was like, oh,
No,
this
you're
summer
not.
won't. This summer will be chill. It'll be fine.
No.
I'll have plenty of time to like sit and write. And it's not. That's a lie. These are lies that I think adults tell themselves, so we can like, oh no, things will slow down, and they don't. But yeah, I've got a couple of book pitches I'm trying to get out, and I think I've said this before on here, but like I've always wanted to write. I've always enjoyed writing, and I don't think I ever saw myself being like a children's author.
Mhm.
But I kind of love it. Like it's so much fun actually, and
Right.
I find like a lot of value in that. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
That's great.
it's such a broad genre, it's such a broad genre. Like you can literally it's like be as specific as possible. It seems like with those books, like get as specific as possible with them.
Well, and I love the idea of like kids nonfiction, because there's lots of kids storybooks, and that's great, and we love those, and we get into those a lot. But like trying to make science and stuff and gardening and plants and not just approachable but exciting for kids is such a challenge sometimes. I gave a talk a few weeks ago about plant blindness in our education system. I don't know if you've ever heard that term, but it's like you can ask a kid like, what are your top 5 favorite animals, and they'll rattle them off at you, but like name any 5 plants, and like most of the time like kids and a lot of adults can't even do it. And
That's
it's because
true.
like in media, in our education, like animals get a lot of airtime, which is fine, which is great. I love that. But like if you think of all the I don't know, popular like nature shows out there, they're all about animals, and so like a lot of times plants just kind of fade into the background, even though they're sort of like the basis for everything we do. And so like I think the challenge of like writing about plants and like communicating about plants in a way that kids and adults find exciting is for me a fun challenge. Like I think that's a cool thing that we do, like all of us do, and I think it's really important.
It's
For
so
sure.
important. We're too far removed from where and how our food grows, and how I don't know. That's just one little aspect of even the whole conversation. I think that
I agree.
one thing that I posted one time. I'm sorry, Dustin.
No,
one thing
you're
I
good.
posted one time about a sunflower video that really this still kills me is the amount of people that don't know that sunflower seeds that you eat, as in David sunflower seeds, come from the center of a sunflower. They don't understand that. So many people don't know that.
Oh, okay. I thought you were. I thought okay. I knew I knew the sunflower seeds came from
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sunflower.
No,
But
no.
the way you said it, like they come from the center, like I thought you were about to say they don't
No,
come
they
to like
don't.
the outer part of it,
No,
or
no,
like
no.
the.
I mean, like in general, they don't even know that the flower makes the sunflower seeds
Oh no, I get my
that
mind
you
blown
eat.
so many times on this podcast. Like I was waiting for you to. I was like, wait, you mean they only take the center cut of like the? Oh, I thought you were about to blow
Oh,
my
no.
mind with some knowledge. Sorry.
No, but the petals are all edible on a sunflower.
I've seen
If you
people
don't know.
grill up the whole head. They've like they fry or
Yeah.
grill up like the entire sunflower head.
Also, I don't know if you know this, and Vikram, I'm sure, knows this about sunflowers, is that the center of the sunflower is made up of all these tiny florets of flowers. And the petals, what are they called? The petals are like a secondary.
Lakelet rays.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like two separate things. Sunflowers are so interesting.
That is very interesting. And I never
cool.
I typically never grow them in my yard. You know, I've grown like the smaller ones, like the teddy bears. But I've always heard that stuff. Well, I mean, it happens with zinnias too. But like if you put something like that in your raised bed, they drop seeds, and then you never get them out of your raised bed. You know, like you can like zinnias. I don't mind zinnias
I
as
don't
much because
care.
they're easy to pull out, but sunflower seeds get huge. Like, but they have like the teddy bear ones that are smaller and it's like that. But usually around here, there's so much road construction that most of the sunflowers grow on the side of the road. Like,
Yeah.
like I see them everywhere up and down the highways, but I haven't grown them in a long time.
So another fun sunflower fact is that if you punch them, the heads will
Oh,
fly.
I
Saw
this.
your video.
I love that.
Oh my
It
God.
That was so awesome.
good.
I
Who's
never
it?
knew that in all my life.
Was that
No.
Felicia's idea or was that yours?
No, that was mine.
Oh, okay.
I love
If
that.
it's
Where did you
something
see
like
that?
silly or dumb, for sure my idea.
Well, y'all saw some like hillbilly doing it on a video, and y'all are like, "Oh, we gotta try this."
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that was right up my alley.
I would. I would love to see like because you know Vikram does a lot of like the reaction videos to like the hacks, the plant hacks. Like since you have such an availability of like different plants and stuff in the nursery, I'd love to like to. There's a guy, there's a Russian guy where he sees like cooking hacks and he sees it and then stitches in his trying to replicate it. I'd love to see
Yeah.
like you. I'd love to see like you try to replicate some kind of plant hack like at the nursery since you can kill 100 plants a day and you'd still be okay. You know what I mean? Like you've got.
I
some
mean,
that
those are
really-
money, but
Michael's in charge now. He can kill as many plants as he wants.
he will go and shoot him. Oh my God! No, don't.
Yeah,
do it.
it's just a matter of time. I'm like, there's a lot of experiment type things I want to do too.
Yeah.
Like Epic Gardening put out a video testing different types of soil, like store-bought
I
potting
saw
soils.
that. Yeah.
And I have some soils that I think would kick those soils' butts. And there's a tweak about that, which if any of you guys haven't watched it, I don't know if I should spoil it for people because
No,
it's kind
go
of a suspenseful video. I won't spoil it. I won't say which one won, but it wasn't the one that I wanted to win that won.
Right.
I'll tell you that much. And but when
It's
it comes to
it's
container
kind of a
gardening,
bummer.
yeah, when it comes to container gardening, for one, that was a very small sample size, which he admitted. He only did one pot of each plant, and the plant's differences in genetic vigor could certainly skew those results, right? When you only have a sample size of one. But the other point that he didn't really mention in that video is that when it comes to container gardening, fertilization is really almost and probably more important than the soil it is, because in a small container, that plant is relying on whatever you give it. It can't send out a root system out into native soil, which actually potting soil isn't really soil. It's a soilless media for the most part. And so it's just going to be peat moss and vermiculite and bark and perlite and those things, which aren't actually dirt. They're not soil. So it's just really relying on whatever goes into there that's going to feed the plant. Whereas a plant that's grown in the ground, it's got access to iron and magnesium and potassium and all those things and nitrogen that are naturally occurring in our soils. And so by doing the test the way that he did without fertilizing, it's really just the company that puts the most fertilizer in the bag wins.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
the company
Mhm.
that put the most fertilizer in the bags won that test.
You know, now,
So
now that you say it like that, it makes total sense why the 1 won.
yeah.
Mhm.
But what kind of hurts me is that he has such a huge platform, and there, which is amazing. I love Kevin and Epic Gardening, but since he didn't explain that aspect of it, what people are going to take away from that video is I'm just going to go buy the winning soil and be done,
Mm.
and not
Yep.
knowing that because of different ingredients in there and because of lack of fertilization, that their results could vary widely based on what region they're in, and what inputs they might be putting into there. So
Yep.
I'm going to comment on that because I think because I get this all the time on my videos that I didn't do enough of this, and you only have so many hours in the day, and you're a full, like, especially Kevin's a full-time content creator. I mean, maybe we should judge him a little more strictly because he does have more time to do that. But like, I have to err on the side of like, well, I mean, he's trying to do the best he can. You know, he's not like a facility that does. He's just doing anecdotal evidence in
He's
his
in his
backyard.
backyard.
Yeah, so I mean,
Mhm.
the same thing like I did with my stupid, you know, electric culture thing. You know what I mean? It's
Oh,
no better. It's no better
did you
than that. I
publish the
mean,
results of that? I somehow missed that.
Yeah.
dude, they're like they're 10 feet tall. They're all 10 feet tall now. I mean, I don't know what to do.
Mhm.
You know, it's crazy.
I want to see you fight with people more. I think you should do more of that.
Dude,
'Cause-
that video got 1 million views.
Wow.
I
Which
can't
one?
That's a
believe
lot.
the electric culture.
The beginning of it or the?
I never did a follow up.
Oh, okay.
Because
That's how
dude,
I missed it because there wasn't
yeah,
one.
'cause- and I get like comments on it nonstop. Hey, where's
Mhm.
where's the follow up? I can't see. There's so many times where I start an experiment or do something like that, and I don't do a follow up just because.
So anyway, you were criticizing Epic Gardening.
No, I'm not criticizing. No, I'm not criticizing him. That's why I'm not criticizing. You know, I'm definitely not criticizing him at all. I think we're maybe being too harsh on him. You know, he's doing an entertaining, you know, anecdotal evidence kind of experiment, and like you said, I didn't put that 2 and 2 together. That soil probably does have a lot of osmocote in it. I mean that's
Mhm.
that's probably exactly what it is, but it wasn't advertised as organic, you know, fertilizer either. So I mean, I guess
One of the
I don't know.
ones that was a top performer was their organic version, and it was
Oh,
like
was it?
top 3, I think. But that doesn't mean it didn't have fertilizer in it. They can certainly put organic fertilizer in it.
Mhm.
Organic can mean a lot of things.
Sure
Yeah.
can.
What
It
were
sure
you saying,
can.
Des?
Oh, I was going to say that Kevin from Epic Gardening is one of the main content creators that really kind of like solidified my love for gardening, because I remember when he first started posting, like, he really didn't know anything. He was sharing what he was learning from other people in the field and other people that he saw that were doing something amazing. And I always really appreciated that about him. And I really like to see where he's come in all of that, because he started out with like a very tiny, I think maybe in something like maybe San Francisco or something, I don't know,
Yeah, he's in San
tiny
Diego.
front yard garden. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just had raised
Yeah,
beds
San
there,
Diego.
and he would talk to neighbors walking by. And then he eventually worked his way into like learning as much as he could, and then getting a homestead that he's just taken from just a regular lawn into something incredible. And I
even
still
now,
learn things from
it's only
him.
like a half acre that he's on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not huge.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
I think he's actually selling. So they have the Epic Homestead, which
Right.
is another house that they have, and I think they're actually selling his house. And I think they're going to move to a. But like you said, like he didn't go to school for any. He's like me. Like I didn't go to school for any of this. I'm learning as I go. If you go back and look at like some of my first videos, like it is the dumbest crap you ever heard in your life. Like
Same.
you know, it's the dumbest thing. But people get to see
Some of
my
it.
people get to see my evolution. You know, like we're constantly learning. Like even when I posted the video about, or I didn't post a video, it was a post about the orange dogs, the giant swallowtail caterpillars.
Love
And
him.
I posted I was going to spray them with BT. and I
Bravo.
didn't. But
I'm
you know,
proud.
there's someone who commented and said like, this goes against everything you've ever taught us. And I spray neem oil once a week. A guy and I say that. I was like, but so people can go and watch one video
Mhm.
and assume that you're just like this expert and you know everything about everything. And it's just, I don't claim to be that, but if you just watched one of my videos, you might think, you know. And so that's the case with Eric. I
Eric.
said Eric.
I'm
I'm gonna say
offended
Eric.
his name's not Eric.
It should be.
Like,
He should change it
I
to
mean,
Eric
his whole thing
Gardening.
is Eric Gardening. I don't understand
Yeah.
why.
Dude,
People
yeah.
Yeah.
So
think the opposite about me. They watch one video and they just assume I'm an idiot. And like, I'm serious. People that don't know my page and don't know my background and my profession and all that, they'll watch something and they disagree with it, and they will comment, "This guy has no clue what he's talking about." Like, I get
Yeah.
those comments a
Yeah.
lot.
Oh, I get them
Especially
too,
when I
like all
talk
the
about
time.
I get
when I talk about something
personally.
that's controversial, like watering midday or something
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah.
That's when those videos go viral. It goes outside of my audience, my core audience, and those people that's their only exposure to me, and they're like, "This guy knows nothing about plants," and I'm like, "All right, cool."
and I
That
love
was a
it.
good
I
one, by the way,
encourage it.
Michael.
It was a good one.
Thank you.
But also, I do want to say that it depends on where you are in watering, overhead watering in the middle of the day, because like in Austin, we have a lot of salt in our water and it actually does burn the leaves of our plants. Not the water droplets itself, but actually the salt content in the water can do that. So like I'll have clients come in and they'll be like, because I do hair, but they talk to me about plants all the time. But they'll be like, I have these weird spots on my leaves. Like, what is this? And I'll be like, oh, have you been spraying it with your water hose? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, don't. Number one, you shouldn't do that at all. But number two, it's because we have salt in our water and it can burn the leaves. And in the afternoon sun, sometimes I feel like the water dries up really quickly and the salt is left behind. And if the plant is in a cycle of transpiration later in the day, that it could affect the leaves a little bit more. But that's just my hot take. Maybe I'm wrong, but that is kind of what they taught us too, even in the Master Gardener program, about our water quality here.
Well, and
It's
everybody,
a complicated subject.
Mhm.
It is.
varies so
And
All
much.
everybody's-
gardening depends, and
everybody's
it's a
situation is
complicated-
so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's situation is different, you know.
And it varies from plant to plant so widely. But the safe
I
bet
watered
is
my garden at 2 p.m. yesterday.
yeah.
You do what you gotta
you
do.
gotta water your plants whenever
You
they
have
need
to.
water.
Yeah.
But the safe bet is always just get the water on the soil as
Yes.
a priority.
Yes.
Yeah, I avoid watering the leaks. I do the micro sprinkler system, so for the most part, I don't even get any water on the leaves, and I feel like that's almost the best. You know,
It
except
is
for
the
like bromeliads. You know, I water my bromeliads overhead, you know, to get them inside the vessel or whatever. But I mean, other than that, like, you know, most of my stuff's on that sprinkler system. And I don't really even have to worry about it with powdery mildew or whatever, unless I hand water every once in a while. But I mean, other than that, it's not too bad. But everybody's situation is different. Everybody's, you know, water situation is different. And the right thing to do is comment something respectful. Or you can say something stupid and mean. And I encourage that as well, because engagement is engagement. Like I welcome whatever. Like, call me an idiot. I encourage that. Call me an idiot. Call me a fat bearded slob looking like Duck Dynasty. Like, call me whatever you want. I love it. I love it. I don't care.
I don't love it.
I don't.
But
it
also,
does not bother me at all.
I've been wildly wrong before in videos, and I've just taken that in stride, and I've tried to edit and be like, oh, my bad, I misspoke. That is not a member of that plant family. I am dumb. And here's all the information, and here's a helpful link, and here's another helpful link to address this and this and this. And then people are still just like, I had some people like DMing me and yelling at me about lantana, and I was like, okay, I don't know what
People
to do
will
right
never
now.
watch the correction video. They don't ever watch those.
It
Yeah.
wasn't, it's not even that. It's like literally pinned in the top of the comments. Like, you have to scroll, you know? I don't know. It's fine though.
No, for sure.
It's fine.
It's like the retraction in the newspaper. They print the story on the
It's
front
not
page,
personal.
and then a week later they put it on page 10. You know,
Yeah.
so like it's
It's not actually personal.
You know, and that's a good point. And it's tough as, like, you know, sort of creators in the educational space, because we're gonna screw stuff up. Like, we're gonna get it wrong. It happens. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Like I talked about baby carrots one time, and sort of I think folk knowledge, like the community knowledge about the thing that's out there is that, oh, it's just like the B team, like the B grade carrots that they shave down into baby carrots or whatever, right? Which is not
No.
true.
No,
They
it's
do
not.
specifically for that.
Yeah, if we found that out from Zach on that carrot episode we did.
Yeah,
He's like they're specifically grown to be that small.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
well, and I said that in a video one time, just kind of offhand. I was like, oh, they take the reject carrots, and a friend of mine on TikTok called me out on it, and
Callie
she
Organics?
Callie,
Dawn.
Callie
Yeah.
Organic.
She's not afraid to say some stuff.
No, and I told her like I was glad she did because I don't want to.
My camera just switched to my other camera.
I don't know
Yeah,
why
that
you
was
did
interesting.
that. You're
I
good
saw
though.
that.
You're good.
Yeah, I can see your forehead.
But yeah, she called me out on it, and I was like, yeah, cool. And so I published another video, but like you said, those usually don't do as well, unfortunately.
No.
And
She came at me hard for my first ladybug videos.
Yeah.
She came at me so hard, and I didn't know. Honestly, I'd seen videos of people releasing, ladybugs, and I didn't think it was anything wrong. And honestly, I still don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with it, except for that it doesn't work. They leave. I mean, they show up and they're gone. I don't subscribe to that. They're being poached. Because there's the definition of being a poacher or poaching is that there's a legal bag limit on that creature, and that you're exceeding the bag limit or capturing them illegally. There's no hunting season or anything on ladybugs, so you're not poaching
Being
ladybugs.
harvested, not poached. Yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
but
they're not endangered species or critically endangered or anything like that. If anything, they're probably overpopulated in some areas. People's houses get swarmed with them. They get inside the house. So I don't subscribe to that. And say that is a problem. How do they feel about earthworms? Like, do they feel the same way about earthworms than they do about ladybugs? No, because ladybugs are pretty. You know what I mean? Do they care that people are digging up and harvesting earthworms and selling them in bait shops all around the country? No, they're just making a big deal about ladybugs because they're pretty. So if you care about one thing, you got to care about the same other thing the exact same way. I think so.
I do care about earthworms.
I care about them too as well.
There's a lot of invasive earthworms, by the way.
There are a lot of invasive earthworms.
The hammerhead
really
one, right?
Bad ones.
Yeah,
that one's a dangerous one too. Actually,
Yeah.
do not touch, smash immediately. Get rid of.
Yeah, there's
like
earthworms can be bad news, especially some of the introduced. Well, and I think the problem, Destin, more is in some cases that you're displacing native species of lady, because there's so many species of ladybird beetle, ladybug, and some of the ones that are coming, most of those are harvested in Southern California, the ones that end up in a lot of garden centers. They can be in some cases a little more aggressive than a lot of native species in different places, and so I think. Personally, the bigger issue is the displacement of species. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I struggle with it too, because in some cases they are a net benefit in the ecosystem. And there are some, and I forget, there's a bunch of them. There's a Asian ladybird beetle that's been introduced that has like the M on its back. There's a different pattern
to get into people's homes.
And they smell bad, and they bite, and they're mean. So I don't know. It's complicated, like you said.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's definitely. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask: is it also true that you can't farm ladybugs? Is part of the problem because you can't. Ladybug larvae have to have aphids in order to propagate themselves.
That's part of the big thing that gets caught up is every other beneficial bug, including earthworms, for the most part, are farmed, whereas the ladybugs are the ones that are wild harvested.
Okay. Oh, good.
And so that's one of the big snags that people have. If you buy lacewings, if you buy Phytocilius, which are the predatory mites, or Neocilius, those are other predatory mites. Those are all reared at insectaries.
So I didn't know that, and that's why we do this podcast. I did not know that.
And it could be that they're hard to farm, or it could be that it's just not economical to farm them because
it might just be more efficient to go to the shop vac.
Scoop them up for free how can you compete on a price point with someone that just literally walks out and scoops them up? Like if you have to, build a facility and rear them, it's going to be so much more expensive than the wild caught ones.
Absolutely.
Well, and I will say, like, I released them in my greenhouse. They survived for a while, and then when I opened the door, they were like almost all gone. But I did not have like a large population of ladybugs. Like I hardly ever saw them. And then that spring, I saw, like, even though they didn't all stay in my yard, I saw more ladybugs, and not just that variety. I saw more ladybugs, like the twice stabbed ladybug with the 2 red dots. I was seeing all kinds of ladybugs after I did that. And not to mention that the video got 6 million views.
Yeah.
On TikTok.
Yeah.
So, but I get what people are saying, and I don't do it anymore. I've gotten the lace wings before, but
it's kind of like that. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say it's kind of that same thing about like, making sure you're not introducing an invasive like species of praying mantis. Like people can buy the mantids online to control things in their garden, and they outcompete like the European or like the more native Carolina mantis here. And so it's like just trying to be, as we learn and as we grow as gardeners and people who understand nature better and the way it works, understanding that there is an impact when you do move like ladybugs around and things like that. And to go back to what Michael said, green lacewings, you can stick cards of them in your garden, and the larvae eat aphids and mealybugs, and they stick around for a really long time. And
the larvae can't fly away.
Right.
Yeah, they can't fly away. They'll stay in the garden after they hatch, and then the adults will stick around and they'll lay more eggs, and so you end up having them over the long term more. And what I've noticed as being just an observer in my own garden is that the ladybugs show up without my help. Like if there's enough of a population of a pest that we need aphid control and the lacewings are there, I've found that the ladybugs show up to help finish the job.
Yeah.
And you can only really see stuff like that after you've really been going into that painful part of organic gardening where you really just have to watch the bugs have your vegetables for lunch for a while. And then you finally are like, oh, wait, I waited and this showed up. And it's kind of one of those like things about like patience, nature's greatest lesson is patience.
100%.
I don't know.
No, I don't know. It stinks sometimes when you're trying to do stuff like you're trying to do it organically. You're trying to do it, without the chemicals, and then you still do it wrong. So I mean, there's a million ways to do it wrong, and there's a million ways to do anything. But I mean, you can mess it up a million different ways too. It's wild when you're first starting out.
Of course, and I think that those lessons are very important. In any gardener's journey, like you learn these lessons and maybe you learn them the hard way, but that doesn't, deter you from continuing to garden and learn and do things differently. That's how we learn. We fail. That's how we learn.
Yep.
It's the best way to learn.
Absolutely. For sure.
Anyway, it's fun to release them.
Yes, it is fun. And honestly, I did the research and I did have native ladybug species, and I did while doing the research, not just the Asian ladybugs will bite; the native ladybugs will bite as well.
Yeah,
and I was bit, and it does not feel good.
It kind of hurts,
dude. It feels it's like it feels like a flea bite. Kind of feels like a flea bite more than anything. It's pretty wild, man, and it's freaky. It's freaky, like when they first release them.
I think an important thing with any kind of biological control, and yes, they definitely can and do bite. So I think a lot of times too, people will like release ladybugs or encourage ladybugs or whatever, but they don't understand like all the growth stages of a ladybug. And so they'll put out ladybugs or they'll have ladybugs and see the cute little adults. And then 2 weeks later, there's these little alligator monsters all over their plants.
I'm so sorry.
And they're like, oh crap, I've got something worse than aphids. And then they'll go out and spray and kill all their ladybug larvae. And the aphids are like, thanks, bro. Like, that's awesome. And And so,
Oh,
like, I think
bless
if we're
them.
doing any kind of biological control, understanding like what we're putting out there is like super important.
Well, and I think that's why it's so important for like I don't know if your master gardener group does this, like the junior master gardeners. That was one of the things I went and I'm not a master gardener. I'm not a master gardener, anybody, but I do work with my master gardener group, and I do junior master gardener classes, and I go hang out with the kids, and we go out in the garden and we find bugs and we identify them, and like they can see what kind of bug it is. It's really cool.
I love that.
So I encourage like y'all if y'all don't have that over there, and are you in Behar County or what county or is it Comal County over there in Austin? Des Travis County, yeah. See if
Yeah.
y'all can get a junior master gardener thing. And Vikram and Michael, I know y'all do
Oh, we
stuff
have
like
'em.
kids and stuff in the garden too.
We have a junior master gardener program here.
Yeah.
A very good one, actually.
It's so much fun, and it's not just for master gardeners kids either. It's for anybody.
Mm-hmm. It's for anybody. It's like really great. I wanted to, if it's okay, talk about, because Michael interestingly posted a video about crepe myrtles, and I also did this week. And something really interesting that I think people don't understand, and I want Michael to weigh in on this because he talked about it in his video, is that sometimes crepe myrtles do this really wild thing where you stand under them and it seems like it's raining. So what actually is that, Rain?
I think I know what it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, it's honeydew from the aphids.
Yeah,
I just like to call it pee because it's funny.
it is. But that's what honeydew is.
Yeah, I mean, essentially because they're sucking up juice and then concentrating it and then expelling it. So kind of is pee. And they get all over, man, the pecan trees, especially pecan trees, elm trees, crepe myrtles, a bunch of other things that the aphids get up on. And whew, it's bad. If you park underneath one of those, how bad it'll make your car all sticky. I've got big pecan trees out there around my pool, which I would not wish that on my worst enemy.
Oh man.
Yeah, the little tassels and everything.
Oh yeah, they're like the messiest trees ever.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
it makes pool maintenance really
We
difficult.
stick to everything.
I did not know how nasty crepe myrtles were. I did not know how much of a mess they made, honestly, until this year. Because mine got really tall this year, and like it turns my trash cans, like the trash cans are sitting right under them, and they just get so nasty. It's so gross.
From the honeydew?
Well, no, just from like the petals and just all the stuff.
I don't care about the petals.
But have y'all heard the glassy wing sharpshooter?
Yeah, I've had it.
So that's what is usually. Well, this last year it was not so much this year, but that was all over my crepe myrtle last year. I've seen a couple this year, but my crepe myrtle was infested with it last year, and that was literally pee. The white specks, like the glassy wing sharpshooter. The reason they call it a sharpshooter is because they literally, every time they poop or pee, they have this little trigger on their butt, and they flick their poop and pee, so you'll know they're out there if you have little white spots like a poop and pee all over your leaves. It's it's so gross. But that was what I was dealing with. I thought you were going to say about the pee and poo on the crepe myrtles.
I want to say. So something about it. So we call it honeydew, which is kind of cute, right? But it's actually, isn't it the sugars and carbohydrates from the plants that they're ingesting? And that's what is so sticky, is the sugar content in plants that they're passing through their bodies. And you have to be kind of cognizant of what is planted underneath a crepe myrtle too, because all of that sticky honeydew can start to cause like molds and nasty like funguses to grow on your plants, because it'll put a sticky coating on them. It'll cover the plant leaves so they can't breathe in and out, and it causes this whole. So yeah, I get it. Yeah, it does. Yes. And so I just think that that's also very interesting and something that people don't really realize about aphids. And ants farm them because they want that honeydew.
Yeah.
They'll spread them around all your plants.
Yo, yeah, they will.
Yeah, the ants will protect them from. They'll actually fight ladybugs and stuff. Like they'll protect them from. And they use their antennae, and they'll kind of massage the aphids.
Yeah.
To try to get them to poop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
It
weird.
ain't right.
Nature's weird, y'all.
It is so weird. It's
That is
so weird.
weird.
And then even further than that, and this is a whole different topic, but fungus farm ants in some ways, or fungus will take over ants to propagate themselves. And so it's like this weird cycle that can be going around, like cordyceps especially. They've figured out how to control ant bodies to then make more of themselves.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I've seen
So
some of
weird.
that. Yeah, I definitely recommend following an Instagram page called Nature is Metal or
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nature is Gnarly. I think it's two separate
Ooh.
ones, but they're both like you'll see wild stuff like that. Like some stuff was like really depressing. Like today I saw one. It was a coyote. There was a sea lion. It was like sitting like sunbathing on the beach, and these people were driving by on a boat, and a coyote just comes out of nowhere and snatches it up. And you see like some sad stuff that's like, oh man, I don't want to see
Shut
that
up.
today.
I'm not following that.
Yeah, you might be
I,
too Disney. You might be too Disney for Nature is
no, I'm
Metal.
not. I understand nature happens.
It
Now,
is such a bummer. It's a lot of bummer videos. Don't go scrolling too hard. It's a bummer site sometimes.
nature is really interesting, though. It's very cool. Like, you
It's
can't love nature as much as I do and not recognize the cycle that happens that feeds into everything and creates it. Like, if something is not eating your garden, it's not a part of the ecosystem, is my take on that. Um, and being an observer in nature is my highest honor as a gardener. I don't know.
So one of the
hey,
wildest experiences was one of the most like last summer, the most mundane thing is I was in the Midwest, which is very mundane.
Ooh.
We did this big road trip, right? And it's all corn. I didn't know this because I hadn't really been to the Midwest.
Yeah,
But like the entire Midwest
most
is
of it.
corn and soybeans, like
Yeah.
Mhm.
just hundreds of millions of acres of it. I mean, it's just everywhere you drive is corn and soybeans. But what's wild is how lifeless those cornfields are and the soybean fields
Mm-hmm.
are. I mean, it is perfect rows. Every plant is flawless. There's not any bugs eating any plant, and then there are no weeds on any of the fields. It's literally just bare
No.
dirt, and then perfect corn plants.
Oh, that's
Um,
freaky.
and it's kind of scary
It is
because of the
scary.
lack of nature. And now there will be like woods around it, and the woods are nice, and you'll see birds and other animals in the woods around the cornfields. But the fields themselves, um, because they're using Roundup Ready crops, corn and soybean are Roundup Ready. So when those plants are young, they go over and they spray Roundup over the glyphosate over the entire field. It just wipes out any plants that are competing with them, but they are immune to it. And
Mhm.
then that corn grows up, and by the time it gets taller, they shade out any life underneath. And so it was a wild experience seeing all those cornfields.
That's
is this one
monoculture for you.
is this one of Bill Gates'
Hmm.
farms?
Well, he has a bunch,
Yeah, yeah,
but I
Uh,
mean,
All the
even
corn-
your regular
like all the
Joe
cornfields.
Schmo
yeah.
farmers,
Right.
they're almost required to use uh, the Roundup Ready varieties. It's something like more than 95% of corn grown in the U.S. is Roundup Ready,
Yeah.
and
And
it's
they
like
have
98%
and
of soybeans.
and they have to buy new seed every year, right? You
Hmm.
can't use like the seed from last year. You can't save
Right.
seeds. You have to buy new seed every single year.
Mhm.
mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of the corn is like at this point 7 or 9 stack corn, so they've got like different gene traits in them to be herbicide ready, as well as like they've got BT in them and they've got other things. So it's an interesting, thinking as someone who studied agriculture some, it's an interesting thing because overall, if we look at the big picture, a lot of the GMO tech has reduced our overall pesticide application,
Mhm.
but it's changed sort of the more targeted things that we use. So we're using, unfortunately, in some cases, the same thing over and over, which leads to a lot of issues in a lot of ways. And so, yeah, and corn through the Midwest, like when it's harvest season and they defoliate stuff, like you can see it from space. Like if you look up
Mhm.
pictures of the Midwest from the ISS, it's like yellow. The whole Midwest is yellow from all the corn, and they've planted so much corn there that it's literally changed the weather in the Midwestern United States because of all the transpiration from the plants. It's putting a
Mhm.
lot more humidity. So the more corn they plant, the more rain they get, and then the more corn they can grow. And like it's this whole complex like ecological thing. It's so strange. It's so strange to think about.
Isn't it kind of also the same sort of over tillage that happened in the Dust Bowl or whatever? They kind of,
Yeah, yeah. So that's part of it, right? And you know, a lot of farms throughout the corn belt, throughout the grain belt, do cover crops in the winter, which helps with that quite a bit because it helps retain the soil through the winter. The problem is that, like, you know, in heavy tillage operations during the winter, it stays open. You know, they take all the stubble out, they replow the fields, and then you get a big heavy rain and it makes a crust and it creates sand and blah blah. Like it's a whole thing. You know, the Dust Bowl was a combination of poor land management, and a big drought, and a lot of other things. And I think it's important to think about too that like a lot of times we don't know what we don't know.
Yep.
Right. And so like throughout the early 1900s into the 20s, like before the Dust Bowl, they were just doing what they knew to do. And I guess where it becomes a problem is if we don't sort of learn from that. But that, you know, put in a lot of policy and thing about like crop rotation and crop coverage, and it established the CRP program and a lot of things. So yeah, it was terrible, and we've made a lot of mistakes agriculturally, but we've also learned a lot. We've come a long way in some ways.
Absolutely.
In our
there's a lot
production
of
systems.
Farmers that are now bucking the trends of the old ways of doing it, and they are being way more rejuvenative and sustainable. And it's been cool seeing that movement happening at the same time right now and getting a ton of traction. And with the age of information and being able to create video content and spread it so easily now, it's cool seeing that come along and taking root so quickly.
Yeah.
You know, and I see it in my classes a lot. You know, we'll have a lot of students that came from the family farm. They'll be the first one to go to college in their farming families or whatever. And hearing them talk about sustainability and talk about different practices and all of that is really encouraging. You know, they're folks that, you know, grew up doing it like daddy and granddaddy did it. But now they're learning a lot. They're interested in new techniques, kind of like Michael was saying. And yeah, I mean, I think the kids are all right. But
yeah,
I
think they're smarter than most of us. To be honest,
don't give them too much credit, okay?
You better give them a little bit more. Sir.
Can they draw as good as me, Vikram? I got lots of compliments on that drawing.
That was pretty
today.
good. Your drawing was good.
Also, your handwriting is very nice. Just saying.
Do I get extra credit, Vikram?
Yes, absolutely, definitely.
Gold
yes.
star.
My handwriting stopped developing in about the 4th grade, and I just like scribbled.
Is it microscopic as well?
It's so inconsistent. I don't even know if I can answer that. Like sometimes it's big, sometimes it's small. I don't write a whole lot with a pen anymore.
Yeah.
Like everything's on the computer. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember last time I wrote with a pencil, like an actual pencil.
Huh.
I don't know. Michael, so is this your time of the year where it kind of slows down a little bit? You get a little bit of a vacation or a break at all, like, or is it just go?
Yeah, yes and no. It slows down from a customer side of things because when it's hot, people just don't want to get out and plant plants, and it's not a good time to plant plants either, with it being this hot out. So the nursery slows down. We stay busy though. Like I just got back from a big conference up in Ohio, so I was there for last weekend, and I was gone for like 6 days. And so this is the time for trade shows, conferences, but also just resetting the store. So we get so slammed after spring that we go through and we assess what happened in spring and we change things around. And then we've also started growing our mums, which is our fall crop. So we've got a bunch of those planted already. And then
how many do you think you have? How many
poinsettias?
Oh wow!
And already, so
I can't wait to come.
We've got about 5,000 mums potted up right now, and there are more to come. And then we got our first shipment of poinsettia cuttings. I think about 2,000, 2,500 of those.
Holy
Wow.
And there's
crap!
a lot more on the way. So
It's so
So-
cool.
So y'all get the poinsettias by cutting. Cutting.
by rooted cutting.
Oh, okay.
You
Okay.
can get them. You can buy straight cuttings, but we prefer to buy the rooted cuttings. They hold up a little better in transit to us in the heat.
Okay, and then the mums come in plugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all, yeah, okay.
Do y'all have a like light exclusion shelter for your poinsettias? Really? Cool.
No, we have a property that gets very dark at night because it's away
Ah.
from the highway.
Okay.
So we don't have to do a black cloth or anything.
That's awesome.
That's why my grandfather bought the property that we're on now, is because at our previous location, which was across the street from the mall, the street lights and everything were so bright that it would actually prevent our poinsettias from
Absolutely.
blooming properly. So
It's on
Wow.
it was on the main drag of town, as a matter of fact.
yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly
Um,
where it was.
so he wanted to really, because it works out nicely for us here in the South, where the days naturally get shorter at the right time to cause the poinsettias to bloom.
I have a question
Yes.
about your tropical greenhouse, which is awesome.
hmm
How old is that ficus Benjamin in there?
That one is 4 or 5 years old.
The huge one?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one that grew from seed?
No.
that-
That one,
no.
the Ficus benjamina, escaped from a pot. We had a pot sitting on the ground, and it stuck
Yeah.
roots through the bottom of the pot.
Yeah, the
and then,
huge
yeah.
one.
Um,
That thing
yeah,
impresses
that
me.
one, and then the Ficus lyrata, which is even bigger, the fiddle leaf fig.
Yes, that thing is
back in
huge.
the back corner.
Yeah.
That one is only 3 years old, and
Wow.
it is
Yeah.
enormous.
Well,
Um,
I think a lot of
I'm
people.
sorry, my face is shocked.
a lot of people will think of like fiddly figs as slow growing when they're
No, they grow fast.
indoors. When they're
Not in the
indoors in
right
the AC.
location, though.
But when they're in the greenhouse, they're in like proper environment. They grow fast. Like
I wish we
mine's
could like throw a
outside. It grows
picture of
really
it up,
fast.
but it's literally about 17 feet tall and about
Yeah.
25 feet wide.
Oh, yeah.
And that was from one leaf 3 years ago to what it is now.
It's crazy.
Michael.
And I know a lot of people that are watching this are like, I've had a fiddle leaf fig for 6 years and it has 4 leaves, you know?
They're the stupidest tree to try and grow at home. They don't like
Did you see the one I
anything.
just posted at the conservatory in
Yeah.
Ohio? It's 120 years old.
I didn't see that. I have to go look.
Yeah, it's insane up in Ohio. It makes ours look small.
What do you do with them at a certain point, though? Like what is the oldest tree you have in your greenhouses?
You can prune it back. You can prune them back.
Yeah, but
Make
we
these
don't
me
have
trees
a lot
are
of old ones.
massive.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of old trees in our greenhouse because we're not like a conservatory. We hopefully sell them, but sometimes we don't sell them and then they get older. We do have one orange tree that's probably like 15, 20 years old in a big 100-gallon pot. And then I have a bonsai that was my grandfather's, and it's about 20-something years old.
Oh, that's
I love
cool.
it.
But we don't have a lot of old trees like a botanical garden would.
Do you have any big giant? I'm sorry, Dustin.
No. I was just gonna say I got a friend at the Moody Gardens down in Galveston, and so if you ever have like a plant that's getting too big, or like someone's got like a big fiddle leaf or a big one that usually gets left behind when people die is those staghorn ferns.
Mm-hmm.
At Moody Gardens down in Galveston, they've got a couple. Well, this person had this for 50 years. It was hanging on a chain out in front of their house, and they didn't know what to do with it. So they took it to Moody Gardens and dropped it off.
That's
And it's like the size. It's like the size of a human being. Like those things get huge.
Yeah.
They do.
You have
Those
a
are
friend
so
that
cool.
works there?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's so cool of you. Get out of here, Dustin.
I've never actually been to Moody.
That's cool.
You
I
have to
know.
go.
I'm gonna call Danita. Her name is Danita, and for when Phil comes down for Figtoberfest and the Fig Hunter, I'm gonna see if we can go do a behind the scenes tour with them at Moody Gardens.
Oh,
And
cool.
they have a bunch of like Ficus benjamina, Bodhi trees, like big stuff. So it's a really cool time, and they have an aquarium, like a giant pyramid aquarium.
Mhm.
But she took me behind the scenes, and showed me their greenhouses, and it's like you would not imagine. I mean, yeah, you have more greenhouses, Michael, but I like it's like 20 greenhouses just with plants for the Moody Gardens, and they're constantly propagating and moving like stuff in and out, out of the exhibits. It's so cool.
I need to be friends with them.
Come on down. I know Vikram can't come for Figtoberfest, but maybe you can.
Is it in October?
October 5th.
Oh.
Maybe I can figure out how to drive over there.
Figure out.
The Fig Hunter and Phil's Figs.
Michael, swing through Austin, and then we'll go off towards Houston.
There you go.
And then Galveston.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and then Galveston. Obviously, it's in Galveston, but
October.
I'm just not able to read what it says on his hat. I love it.
On Vikram's hat, it's such.
It was blurry earlier. I couldn't read it.
It's such a cool hat. I love it, and I love his video opening. It's such a
Michael,
good
I'll
video.
send you the video here in a little bit. Also, well, good Lord, what is my hair doing?
Hat
Look at that! Look at that! Oh my God, I'm gonna make it. I think I can make it worse. Hang on. I also have a Plant Daddy pin that my wife got me, and I put it on my hat.
Oh, I love it.
Hang on, I'm gonna.
Do you feel like this is his ideal hair length and style?
Yes.
For his face?
Yeah, I do. Actually, don't cut your hair. It's perfect.
I just got it cut, actually.
Yeah.
Like it was like down to my shoulders, and I got it cut quite a bit.
It's perfect the way it is right now. But also, I like it longer too. But that's just me.
I went in and I went in. This is totally has nothing to do with anything. Like I used to wear my hair real short, and I went in and I was like, I think I'm ready to have it short again. And my barber was just like, no. She just told me no. Like I've known her since high school. She's an old friend.
Yeah.
And she was. I was like, we used to cut it short. And she's like, yeah, but no. Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's good to have one of those that tells you no. It tells you no.
Oh, she'll be honest with me. She's like, no, that's stupid. You can't do that. Okay.
No, I don't prune my beard anymore. Like the lady Sheila, shout out to Sheila. She listens. Sheila, she is the only one that prunes my beard now too. I go every 2 weeks, cuts my hair, prunes my beard. And I'll tell her like, oh, let's do a 0 on the side. She goes, we'll do a 0.5 or a 1. She goes, I'm not doing a 0. And I was like, whatever works best. What do you think is best? Because
honestly, if your hairdresser is not telling you what's up, they're not doing it right. And also, as a hairdresser, I will tell you that you guys are our walking advertisements. It's our business to make you look nice because we don't want you walking around looking foolish. And then saying, cut your hair. No, I'm just kidding.
So it sounds
but no, seriously.
I need to have some hairdresser loyalty because I just go to whoever has the shortest line.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
And so I don't get this good advice about my hair because I don't have a hairdresser.
So I actually go to
I didn't know men had hairdressers.
It's not a hairdresser. But I have like a monthly subscription.
Barbers.
I have like a monthly subscription. I pay like once a month. And I can get a beard trim or haircut as many times as I want. And when you walk in, you can get a beer or a whiskey or whatever. And you wait to get your haircut and you get it done. And then you leave. And I like when I leave, they shampoo and conditioner my hair. So I don't have hair falling all over me for the rest of the day. And they massage you in the hot towel. The hot towel is what does it. A hot towel on the face is where it is at. I sometimes I just microwave a hot towel.
No, I don't.
My face.
Listen, I do mostly ladies' hair. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of money in ladies' hair.
Oh yeah,
but
I bet.
Barbers are amazing. And I'm not allowed to do some things that barbers can do because I don't have that in my license.
Oh, you're not allowed to use a straight razor, right? You're not allowed to use a straight razor?
No, I can't use a straight razor.
I didn't know this. You have to have your barber's license or it's like intern or whatever to actually use a straight razor.
Yes. There are certain things that we cannot do in our capacities as hairdressers, cosmetologists.
Why'd you do the Italian thing when you said hairdresser?
Hairdressers.
Oh,
I don't know.
I was going to ask y'all, did y'all buy anything garden related on Prime Day? Did y'all get anything interesting or anything fun?
No, I did not. I'm trying to be chill about it. Did you?
Next.
I did.
What'd you get?
Are you in trouble, Michael? Or did your wife buy a bunch of stuff on Prime Day?
No. I
How
just
about a
didn't
new pair of
participate.
Crocs?
I'm just boring.
Where did
Okay.
You guys
Vikram
froze
go?
up on me.
Vikram has to reboot. Y'all there?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, okay.
Everything froze for me for a minute.
Oh, are you
Oh.
good now?
I'm
I
good.
guess.
Okay. Vikram said his stuff rebooted real quick.
Oh,
I bought one of those Ninja Creamies because I had all these
yeah.
figs. I had all these figs and stuff growing in my yard, and I was like, I wonder if I can make like sorbet and stuff. And so I will be having some videos come out. I made fig sorbet. I made fig ice cream. The fireworks.
How did you
Yes.
do that?
oh my gosh! How did
Yes,
that
yes.
happen?
If you give 2 thumbs up, it makes fireworks?
I don't know. Does it? Does it sometimes and it doesn't?
Oh, I got the thumbs up little guy.
Hey, he's back.
My computer definitely just like crashed on me,
Oh my God.
but we're back. We're here.
Oh,
Maybe
no,
you gotta have a. Maybe you have to have the Aggie thumbs for it to work.
Is it?
I don't.
it's
If
like
you
a
missed
little
it, Vikram, I
hands.
did this.
Oh!
Oh, you got it. Okay, wait.
What the hell? Why can't I do it?
No.
Why can't I?
We're
do
such
it?
thumbs are
idiots. Like, just
I'm trying again.
it hates
It's
me.
It's not
not-
a Texas texture. It's not gonna work for you.
People, imagine if you're coming in on the end of this podcast. Why is everybody?
And we're just like,
Oh my God. Never works for me ever.
Oh,
it
okay.
wasn't for.
Wait.
Dude, this is BS, man.
I'm like 4 for 4 on it.
I don't know how to do it. How do you do
What
It's
it?
happens
never
if you
done.
thumbs down?
I
Dude,
think if you
I
do
don't
a
know,
peace
try
sign, Michael, try a peace sign. I think it does like lasers or something.
Oh my God. If anybody's
Did you see the
listening,
rainstorm when I thumbs downed it?
if anybody's listening on Spotify, they're gonna be like, "What is
I'm
going
so
on?"
confused right now. Oh no, they left a long time ago. They're gone.
Oh, there she goes.
I can't.
Oh, that one doesn't. Oh yeah, there it goes.
Do I have to be closer?
I don't know. We
Is
are
this
live
like
on
a-
YouTube.
I don't care.
Is it doing I love you? Or metal hands? Nope.
Oh, thingies, how do you do the little heart? I can't do it. I apparently.
Uh,
Shut
yeah.
up,
Why does it work for them?
dude! What is going on,
What other
Vikram?
hand
How do you
signals
do
are
that?
there? There's one that I
what
won't
they
do.
do butterfly. How do you?
I think I'll throw up gang
Is it-
signs on accident. Yeah, you do a little bit of this.
I need to
Oh,
look
is it
up
like
like
this?
what Riverside like
Yeah,
hand signs work in.
Vikram's gonna look up like Riverside hacks, and it's gonna be like
Why is it blurry?
do a secret thing, and it's gonna like flip everybody in reverse or something like some kind of what the hell?
Yeah.
Now mine's just blurry. That's all mine did was get blurry.
Go put your hand out in front of it and then go like that.
Okay. The hearts.
Yeah, there it goes.
There you go. Yeah.
I wish
No,
it would
I-
do it again.
I was telling them the only thing I bought on Prime Day was I bought
I'm
that
offended.
that wireless rain gauge
Oh,
and
huh?
the cream in the Ninja Creamy, so I can make fig ice cream and fig sorbet. And actually,
Oh.
I made my first batch tonight. There will be a video soon on that.
Yeah, so I
Ooh.
need to know how that works because I see people like using it on TikTok or whatever a lot.
Yeah,
And they're like, it's great, but I trust your judgment.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to look it up too. We have an actual
Yeah.
My
ice
brother
cream
uses one
sorbet maker.
every day. But
Really?
really,
But
Well,
he loves it. It's like
yeah,
the best
'cause-
thing he's ever bought.
because you can make like if you go to the store right now and look at how much a pint of ice cream is, it's like $8 for a pint of Bluebell right now. Like it's at CVS down the road. I paid like $7-8
That's crazy.
for a pint.
Well, he makes.
Good grief.
My brother makes healthy ice cream. Like he'll make it with like protein powder and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
And healthy ingredients. And so he's
So
like,
he ruins it. In other words, no.
no, he said it tastes amazing.
Mhm.
Like it gives you
I'm
all
just
that
kidding.
craving of ice cream, but it's actually like
Well-
not terrible for you.
They add
No, I'm
so
kidding.
much. They add so much sugar to ice cream. There is so much sugar in ice cream. It is insane.
That's why it tastes good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. But like I
Mhm.
made mine with figs, and I used some stevia and some fruit punch, some fruit punch mixture, and that turned out pretty good. And then I did a fig ice cream with it was like oat milk and almond milk mixed creamer, and then milk and some cinnamon and stuff. And then I did a fig brew. I basically made a cup of coffee like I normally would with my fig brew, my fig coffee, and put it in there, froze it, and then made ice cream out of it. It turned out really nice. So It's a little bougie, but it's nice. Oh my god.
That's just showing off.
Well, real quick, you were talking about conventions earlier. So, Michael, you're going to TNLA, right? You're going to be at TNLA for sure.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I figured out my schedule and it's gonna work. My daughter is acting in a play, her first like theater play, and so I was concerned that we weren't gonna be able to make it. But TNLA falls in the middle of the week, and her stuff is on the weekends, and so we're gonna go.
Sweet.
So it's Thursday night. So I'll be there Thursday night or Thursday during the day and Friday during the day. I need to talk to y'all about because there's so much going on about doing the podcast on Thursday. If we can find some time during the day, like a lunch or something, because I know the evenings get crazy at TNLA. But we'll talk. We'll talk afterwards about that.
I'm down.
Yeah, Dez, it's not too far from you. Why don't you drive down and just come?
Just pop over to San Antonio.
It's in
Oh,
San Antonio?
Yeah.
August
Y'all
15th
tell
and
me-
16th. Yeah, I'll send you
please
the
tell me
details.
about it in a little while, okay?
Yeah,
And I'll look it over. I mean, I'm not saying no at all.
yeah.
It's a fun conference.
Yeah.
It's also like family friendly. Like my kids
Mhm.
enjoy going to that one.
Oh,
yeah.
And also-
Until the sun goes down.
And some of the booths will start serving margaritas at 9 a.m.
Yes.
oh my god.
Yeah.
I know that
going?
because reasons.
You'll be there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vikram?
Vikram's gonna be there. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we've got a booth. My university or my department has a booth, so me and a couple of colleagues will be there.
Oh, I'll come bother you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. So I don't know what all y'all have to do. So I'm gonna get with y'all about that, Vikram, because I'm already getting people. Hey, will you come to this party Thursday night? This party Friday night? I'm like, I gotta find
Wait,
out.
there
when we're
are
doing the pod.
parties involved?
Oh,
You don't know
100%.
how
It's-
crazy.
it's-
I will be
It's kinda wild.
completely
Yeah.
in the dark here,
It gets
so I'll
wild.
be
Oh,
relying on y'all.
Well,
I
and-
just
and-
got back from a conference and I'm still tired. Let me just tell you
Dude,
that.
the garden party don't
So
stop.
tired.
The garden party don't stop.
See these dark circles?
Yes. Oh my god, the freaking.
I thought we were
balloons.
partying.
I would
No,
love to, but
I'm- I'm
am I
actually
just
gonna
not
be.
patient enough?
I'm gonna be a
Oh, sit
correspondent.
back a
I'll be a.
Can you combine them?
Oh my god, I'll be working with actually TNLA. I'll be like their correspondent throughout the event. So I'll be like doing content for TNLA.
That's
and everything
cool.
through there. So I'll have to do some things, but it'll kind of get me in where I can see behind the scenes. So it's gonna be kind of nice because we're gonna vlog the whole thing. So we're excited about it. But oh my god, you're driving me nuts. I appreciate everybody
You're
coming
gonna have to
on
turn
so
that
much.
feature off
And-
next time I'm
Yes,
on.
I'm gonna have to disable it because it's gonna become so distracting on every
Does
episode.
Jazz Hands
For
do
those of
anything?
y'all who aren't watching this on video, it is distracting as hell watching all the balloons and I can't
Like
and,
fireworks and
dude, and it's a bummer because me and Vikram can't get it to work for us.
You're not being patient enough. You're not
Um,
backing up enough. You
okay.
Well, there's large periods of time in this podcast where I just have to be
If you
quiet
hold
because
up
other people
two
are talking.
peace signs,
This gives me
confetti
something
falls.
to do while y'all are talking, and I'm
Wait,
waiting for my turn to talk.
I'm gonna have to delete this episode. Oh my God.
no.
It's just not. I'm gonna tell Phil it wasn't the same without you, man. Oh my god, we do miss you, Phil. We did not mention Figs one. Oh, I did. But I'm talking
no,
about
you
ice cream.
did. We talked about
Yeah,
this.
You got it.
Yeah, I said there will be less Fig talk, not no Fig talk. There'll be less. So, but I appreciate y'all coming on, guys. Thank y'all so much. We'll go ahead and end it. Michael, real quick, let everybody know where they can find you. What you got coming up, dude?
Smith's Garden Town is our handle on all the social media. If you want to be educated and or entertained, and we post a new video every single day on social media, which is a lot of work. So I would appreciate if you actually follow them. You don't have to watch them all because that's a lot of videos to watch. But a follow would be nice, especially on YouTube. I'm trying to build up the YouTube audience because we've
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
we got big audiences on
Preach.
other platforms.
Yeah,
But yeah, if anybody wants to give us some YouTube love.
I'm gonna go
I-
follow
I-
you on
I-
YouTube right now.
I was gonna say I'll definitely give y'all a follow. Have you thought about are y'all gonna change the name of the nursery now that June? Is it gonna be Fiore's Garden Town? Are you gonna change it?
Fiori's Flower Farm. No, we're not going to change it.
Smith
It's still my family's name. You know, I'm
Yeah.
a Smith. It's just my mom's side of the family. So I actually created a new business entity and that business entity is Smith's Legacy Greenhouses, and doing business as Smith's Garden Town. So
I
carrying
love
the
it.
family legacy on.
That's awesome, dude. Well, dude, you're always a wealth of knowledge. Sorry it's so chaotic to this week. The balloons
Not
were very
chaotic at
distracting.
all. Nah.
That was great. I had a
My
good time.
goodness. I appreciate y'all coming on, dude. Vikram, let everybody know where they can find you and what you got going up.
Man, I don't know. I'm the plant prof all over the internet, YouTube, other places, TikTok, whatever, Instagram. I'm not really on Facebook much anymore. I don't know. I also wrote a book, which I think I have here. Oh, I just knocked a whole big stack of stuff
I
over. It's
have it here
okay.
as well.
Called Plants to the Rescue. You can get it all the places the books live, and I have a podcast called Planthropology that you should also check out.
100%.
It's a cute book. You should get it if you don't have it. It's
I do need
everywhere.
it.
Get
My
it on
kids need it.
Amazon.
Okay. I'll
You
get
got
on
so
Amazon
good.
right now.
Does Smith need a kid's book for sale?
Actually, we do have a little book section. Do you wholesale?
I don't directly, but the publisher does for sure.
Okay.
And then you can have them come do a signing or a reading at the nursery.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I'd do that.
I'd go too. It's fine.
Have you done that thing yet that I was telling you about, Vikram, where you go to a bookstore and take a picture and sign it?
I have not.
You
I
need
have
to
not.
do that. You got to do that next time. Like maybe during the TNLA, we'll have to go to find a
Yeah,
bookstore.
that'd be fun.
All right. Well, I appreciate you as always, dude. Vikram, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's on sale
Desiree.
on Amazon right now.
It is, yeah.
Didn't know that.
It is on sale. I posted whenever you posted it. I shared the link and everything for people to go buy it. Miss Desiree, let everybody know where you can find you, where what you got going on.
I'm gardening with Des. I'm also trying to build my YouTube following and my Instagram following, actually, and my Facebook follow. You know what?
Just follow
me,
Des
please?
everywhere.
I'm just going to tell you right now. Lately, I have been more about seeing squirrels and talking about butterflies and bees and just being my silly self than I have about educational content. But I also sprinkle some knowledge in there as well. But I'm just in a have fun mode. And so if you want to have fun, come over and hang out with me. I would love that. Really, I would.
Absolutely. No, it is so much fun. Your channel is a lot of fun, and
you're so sweet.
You're always having and you're absolutely right. We definitely should be. Sometimes it's time to take a break and enjoy yourself in the garden because we do go kind of crazy sometimes, and it gets chaotic sometimes.
It does.
And so it's time. In summertime is usually time for a break. Make a nice margarita and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you as always, Des. I really appreciate it, guys. Phil's Figs, we miss you, brother. We will see you next week. But thank y'all so much again for coming on. Freaking fireworks. And I will see y'all next week, guys. Thank y'all so much for coming on.
Peace out, y'all.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.